Well, the big one, I suppose, for you, repping that shirt right now and the Man United fan, obviously it looks like Sancho's returning to Dortmund on a short-term loan. What do you make of that? Is that one that you're sad to see happen, or do you think it's the right move? I just find it so frustrating that a player of that talent has been rotting away for so long. So, is this perfect for him?
I think it's perfect for him because his relationship with Eric Ten Hag, I think's no longer sustainable. I don't think it's repairable. I think he's not been training with the first team. I think there's a stubbornness from his part to admit fault, even, which I think is dangerous for a dressing room. I think it's part of the reason why United might be in the position they're in as well. His handling of Sancho hasn't probably been the best in hindsight. But then on the
Mm,
flip side, you can't say some of the things publicly that Sancho said. So
mm,
yeah, it is the best option for him to get out somewhere during this next 6 months, I guess. Try and keep his fitness up. Try and maybe get a chance of getting in the England squad. And what a better place to do that than Dortmund? You know, it's a place he probably
mm.
will think of as some kind of home, which he hasn't really had in England, has he? At either City or United. So I think Dortmund are
Yeah.
welcoming him back with open arms, and they need a player of his creativity when he's at his best to perform. So it seems like it's win-win for me as long as the financial side of it's right for United.
Well, yeah, that's the thing that I'm trying to work out, like why United are doing this deal in particular. Apparently, it's only going to cost Dortmund like 3 million all in
Mm,
because United are going to cover pretty much all of his wages. Dortmund, I think, are doing like a really small percentage. But I suppose there's two ways of looking at it. It's either right, get him to a high level where he'll put himself in the shop window and we sell in the summer for more money than they're going to get right now.
yeah,
Because if you tried to sell him right now, everyone and their dog knows that Ten Hag doesn't rate Sancho and they want rid of him. So you're never going to command a good transfer fee. Whereas if he goes to Dortmund, has 6 excellent months, all of a sudden the fee rises.
yeah.
Or the alternative is the club are looking at it as we're not overly sure about Eric Ten Hag. And actually, Jadon Sancho might be a player that really suits our next manager. So let's not let him go just yet. I can't
Yeah,
work out where United stand with it, to be honest. But I'm gutted to see that it's not worked out for Sancho at United. I really wanted that one to work for him, but actually, it could be the perfect time for him to go to Dortmund because they're struggling a little bit.
yeah.
Obviously, Leverkusen have stepped up and been the bigger challengers to Bayern. Obviously, Leipzig are around the conversation as well. And Dortmund are kind of flattering to deceive. And the profile
Right.
of player they've got in their squad after losing Bellingham, Haaland, Sancho before that, it'd be nice for him to have a kind of recognised star to kind of focus on. And I wonder if he will actually bring that side on quite far as well.
Possibly. I think also it's kind of he probably looks at the likes of Bellingham and Kane as well now at Bayern and their trajectories since moving abroad and looks at where
Mm.
he was at one point, his
Yeah,
valuation before he joined United, and he could have been on that same trajectory. He was one of the brightest
yeah,
young talents in world football. And he's been set back loads. His value's at least halved now, which he won't care about, but
mm.
it just means that United won't get a return on their investment if they do sell him. But it's an interesting take about Ten Hag's position and how the club might see it as a gamble to sell him outright. And maybe if he
Mm.
goes out on loan, he could come back to a club that doesn't have Ten Hag in it. Because that's a really interesting
Maybe
option for the club, isn't it? But
because it's
I
such a
think,
weird. Sorry, it's such a weird position for Sancho to be in. Because you talk about the trajectory that he was on at Dortmund. Before he left Dortmund, we're going to the Euros this year, and the year he left Dortmund, if you'd said Jadon Sancho won't be in the England squad for the next two tournaments,
yeah,
so you'd have been laughed at because he was the generational talent. It felt like that was gonna like just lead England to success, and now he's miles from the squad. So he needs something to kickstart it. Absolutely does.
I think it's one of those things where it can't really go wrong for him unless he just has an attitude issue and doesn't get in the
Mm,
Dortmund team. That could be the worst case scenario, but it's in his best
yeah, of
interest really to get his head down and work hard, isn't it?
course it
We all
is.
want to see it, definitely.